All right, district level elections featuring on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Jean Mensah and the EC, they're telling Ghanaians, go out, cast your vote. EC entreats eligible voters. Dr. Baumia's running mate. Now, this story has made it to the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Consider Ghan people for VIP. Ghan supporters appeal to MPP.
And there's a photo of Mr. Ikuotu and Daniel Macaulay on the front page.
Yes.
So.
And aspiring assembly members end campaign for votes nationwide. And the back page of the Ghanaian Times says, hung parliament in Ghana demands neutrality. That's according to the speaker.
Speaker Bagbin.
Yeah, man. Daily graphic this morning, do not get distracted from your mandates. This is the president to the governor of the central bank. And then 2023 WASSCE results best in 4 years, WAEC is saying. Now, Nana Amoako-Poku is offensive chief elect and 66,000 contest local polls today. Back page quickly, ministry hands over flood early warning equipment and the Ghana Standards Authority sets up first independent laboratory.
The finder says 190,168 WASSCE scripts cancelled or withheld in 4 core subjects over malpractices. A1 to C6 in 4 core subjects range from 62% to 76%.
Is that all in the headline?
Yes, it's all here. Just reading what I see.
A lot, man.
The other things on the Finder's front page, EC deploys 71,775 BVDs, and they also state how many people will be working today on the assembly elections. Obo, aka Bias Osei-Kufo, MD of Ghana Post to contest Asante Achim South parliamentary seat. And President Akufo-Addo says BOG steering a more robust financial sector. Plus 2023 media capacity enhancement program kicks off in Accra.
Graphic business overexposure to DDEP not our making. Loans advances converted into bonds. These are banks speaking. You have the CEO of ADB Bank, Zenith Bank, Cow Bank, GCB Bank, and CBG Bank. They are all saying it's not their making. And then inflation to return to pre-crisis level. Dr. Addison is speaking.
All right. The Chronicles front page says MP Ayimedu is against LGBTQ plus bill. Alan Cash is also Fiero, says Foamweni. That's what the Chronicle is saying. Interior Ministry, police to monitor private security companies and others. And of course, the media capacity program is also here on the front page.
The Anchor newspaper, no Ghana card, no salary for all public sector workers from February 2024. Interesting story here. Government clarifies outstanding issues with CSOs on lithium agreement. Maslock boss honored among 100 most influential people. Mahama banking hopes on Dufour to revive economy.
Very soon they'll say no Ghana card, no marriage.
I tell you.
No Ghana card, no food.
No everything.
No Ghana card, no sleep.
Yeah, the cuckoo.
I tell you.
Anyway, the business analyst has some stories here. They also have the district level elections on the front page. But other stories, $600 million disbursement to Ghana. IMF reschedules board meeting to January 11 next year. Failed banks were on unsustainable artificial life support, the president is saying here. Let's pay attention to economy despite significant gain. Akufo-Addo as he praises BOG. And the NHI has a new deputy CEO.
All right.
The Inquisitor says Ghana's debts, government abused access to the Eurobond markets. Lord Mensah is speaking here. Fault finding fails. SML deal is clean. Contract was for 5 years and not 10 years, Inquisitor is saying. And then over 3,000 nurses have left Ghana since 2020. Dam spillage at Blackwell against the secessionist group. And for the umpteenth time, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh has grabbed another award. This one, it's a 100 inspiring individuals in Africa. Dr. Prempeh is number 6.
The Inquisitor.
Yeah, man.
It's a big paper. Let's move to the Economy Times.
Let me keep my comment to myself. The Economy Times says, cost of credit to soften next year. Fuel stations to go through quality grading and labeling. That's according to the NPA. And next, Mahama NDC government to review mining laws to benefit Ghanaians as it joins lithium lease discussion.
All right.
Daily Guide, all set for district assembly elections. Interior Minister hits road. Angry Bagbin slams Nanado over 3 bills. Ghanaian women less corrupt. AG is saying. and Obuo ready for Asante Achim seat.
All right, let me take you online, citinewsroom.com. The district level election is there. And then a few other stories. Lithium deal, I'm very satisfied with current terms. Abuja Napo. He also says cabinet examine implications of all options. Another story is Kotobabi residents demand probe into woman's killing during anti-robbery operation. And then Parliament plunged into darkness during proceedings. There's a video to show this. Meanwhile, Bagbin says the president's position on witchcraft armed forces bill tragically wrong. Now, in other stories on My Joy Online, they are leading with the SML contract story. IES on Finance Ministry's 10-year SML contract. This is thievery, according to the director of IES. Meanwhile, Jenapo John is also saying the contract is inimical to Ghana's development. I'll bring you details of that story later on. And then the whole thing doesn't make sense. Susu on Akufo-Addo's refusal to approve the witchcraft bill. And then no more usage of indelible ink in elections is also on the front page. And then minority demands probe into the finance minister's 10-year SML contract as well. Star FM's lead story, Akufo-Addo can determine who becomes president of Ghana. This is Yamin. Doha Jaho committee to resolve NDC's Mensia South gridlock. And then GES deliberately decided to disgrace heads according to the NAT. If you go to the fourth estate, their leading story is the 3 billion CD lie. Government pays hundreds of millions to a company in a shady deal. Then the OSP has received a petition to investigate the finance ministry, GRA and SML on this same matter. So I'll bring you some details of this story soon. Then if you go to Class FM, WASSCE results, Wire Council's entire results of 839 candidates, and then a few other numbers from the results being discussed. Let's get into the details.
But let's start with money. No Ghana card, no salary for all public sector workers from February 2024. The anchor is reporting the Controller and Accountant General's Department has served notice that all public sector workers without the Ghana card will have their salaries blocked beginning February 2024. A new directive from the department says all those on payroll of government who were given a window of opportunity in September this year to register with the National Identification Authority, NIA, but refused to do so, would have themselves to blame if the implementation takes effect. So the ultimatum, though not the first by the controller, is to help government rid the payroll of ghost names which have existed for decades.
All right.
Page 11 of the Ghanaian Times. Go out, cast your vote. ECN treats eligible voters. Of course, this is in relation to the district level elections. And the elections are taking place today. Now, the chairperson of the commission, Jean Mensah, told the news conference in Accra yesterday that the DLE was the core of the country's democracy and development. Hence, all eligible voters needed to go and participate. Now, let me give you a few numbers. The elections will take place in all 38,315 polling stations across the country, with the exception of the Nkranza North and South districts of the Bono East region. Now, 18,580 persons are contesting, 17,474 males and 1,106 females. So those are just some broad numbers for people to choose.
Meanwhile, EC says that in the upcoming elections, there will be no need for indelible ink. Now, indelible ink, is a semi-permanent dye applied to voters' fingertips or fingerprints to indicate which who has exercised their vote or not. Now, speaking at a press conference ahead of the December 19 poll, the EC chair in Mensa said this was part of measures by the Commission to improve the electoral process and ensure a robust identification system. Voting has, I think when I was on my way, I saw some of the people setting up for voting to begin. And they're also going to experiment other things with this year votes.
Yeah, but still on voting, Dr. Osai Kwapong advocates more awareness against vote buying. A political scientist, Dr. Osai Kwapong, has advocated an open primary system for political parties where all registered voters of a party would participate in the election of a candidate as opposed to the delegate system as a measure to cure vote buying phenomenon in local elections. That, he said, was because vote buying was more popular during primaries since a smaller pool of individuals become the electorate and as such made it easier for candidates to reach and influence them. An open system, he said, would therefore make the buying of votes very expensive and could then deter candidates from engaging in voting.
Last one here, NDC is asking Ghanaians to participate fully in the district level elections today. The NDC issued a statement chairman of the party, Johnson Asedun Ketia, in a statement from yesterday, expressed concern about the low participation in previous district level elections, and he called on Ghanaians to participate fully and actively in today's district level elections. All right, let's move to the WAEC results and some numbers.
Page 2 of the Finder. Now, the West African Exams Council, WAEC, has taken action on 190,168 scripts, either cancelling or withholding results in the 4 core subjects. Now, this comprises 42,920 in English language, 59,846 in math, 58,271 in integrated science, and 29,131 in social studies. Now, according to WAEC, about 4,800 candidates have had their results blocked for failing to return learning support materials provided by the schools. Additionally, results for 3,647 candidates have been cancelled due to the discovery of foreign material, including prepared notes, textbooks, and printed material brought into the exam hall, while 839 candidates have had their results cancelled in their entirety for the possession of mobile phones during the exam.
Graphics version, Bernard, says 2023 WASSCE results best in 4 years. And it says this year's results of the West African Senior School Certificate WASSCE for school candidates have been the best in 4 years, with the majority of candidates obtaining grades A1 to C6 in the 4 core subjects: English language, social studies, integrated science, and mathematics. In English language, 73.11% of the candidates obtained grades A to 6 this year, as against 60.39% in 2022, 54.08% in 2021, and 57.34% in 2024. Mathematics, the total candidature with grades A1 to C6 this year was 62.23%, while 61.39% was the previous year's. Candidates, however, recorded a better performance of 65.71% in mathematics in 2020. So
now, let me give you a story that's making the rounds. This story was written yesterday by the Herald and the Fourth Estate. So the Herald's version was pretty different, but similar, same story. Now, the story is titled "The $3 Billion Lie," and it says 10-year questionable contract by finance minister gives SML over $100 million annually, despite false claims. And the story is by Evans Aziamo Mensah, Adjoa Adobia Usu, and Manasseh Azuri Awuni. And among other things, the story alleges that a company called Strategic Mobilization Ghana, SML, which started revenue assurance, sounds familiar, services to the government in 2020, made a number of false claims. For example, the company claimed in February this year that it has saved Ghana over 3 billion cedis in revenue. Now would have been lost to the state, but for its services in the contract signed with the Ministry of Finance. The investigation found this claim to be completely false. The managing director of SML, Christian Soti, who is a former controller and accountant general, claimed he did not know about the figure when the Fourth Estate confronted him with counter evidence. He said the media, including the state-owned Daily Graphic, had taken a presentation SML made to the GRA board out of context and reported the wrong information. He said SML had called the journalists to draw their attention to the matter. Now, the other substantive issue is that there's been a petition sent to the OSP to investigate this issue. So the Office of the Special Prosecutor has received a petition to investigate the Ministry of Finance, the GRA, and Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited for this particular $1 billion contract awarded to SML to undertake revenue assurance in the downstream and upstream petroleum sector and the gold mining sector. Then, if you go to citinewsroom.com, there's a story that says that John Jinapo, who is the minority spokesperson on is one of the minority spokespersons, calling on the government or for a full-scale parliamentary investigation into the contract between the government and a private entity called SML. And basically, this was because of the reports by the Fourth Estate. According to the minority spokesperson on Mines Energy, John Jinapo, he's also a member of the Finance Committee. The deal should be immediately suspended pending the parliamentary probe. According to the minority, has discussed the topical issue and will be moving processes to ensure that there's a full-scale investigation into the matter. So keep an eye on this story. We've not seen the last of it.
Bernard, angry Bagman slams Nana over 3 bills. And as Kofi Adu is reporting in the Daily Guide this morning, he says Speaker of Parliament Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagman yesterday became incandescent at the reasons given by President Nana Akufo-Addo for his refusal to assent to 3 bills passed by Parliament, describing them as baseless. Fizzing with anger, Mr. Bagman berated the President for saying that the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2023, the Criminal Offences Forces Amendment Number 2 Bill 2023 and the Ghana Armed Forces Amendment Bill 2023, introduced as private members' bills, have financial implications on the Consolidated Fund, while the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2023 and the Armed Forces Amendment Bill 2023 are seeking to replace the death penalty with a life sentence. The Criminal Offences Amendment Number 2 Bill 2023 is seeking to criminalize the activities of which is it decriminalize or criminalize the activities of which? Okay, criminalize the activities of witch doctors. That's correct. The president has not been properly advised, the speaker said. So
that story is also trending. We have the guy who, the MP, Sylvia Sosu, also says he's baffled by the president's refusal to assent to those bills. Let's come back to the Chronicle.
Well, talking about bills, the chairman of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, Kwame Enyimadu Entry, is, well, according to Moses Fuameni, he says this MP is against the LGBTQ plus bill. Now, according to him, Moses Fuameni, the Asante Akim Central Legislator will face the consequences of his stance on the bill. He was responding to a question in Accra on Monday, December 18, at a media engagement to mark the 10th anniversary of the National Coalition of Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values. Now, the questioner sought the view of the coalition on the recent face-off in Parliament between Kwame Enyimadu Entry and Samuel Nate George, following the committee's inability to move for the consideration stage of the bill due to the absence of the chairman, Honorable Enyimadu.
Meanwhile, the Catholic Church has sought to clarify a position by the Pope on same-sex marriages. So there's an article on citinewsroom.com sent to us by Engineer Ken Ashigbe, but attributed to Most Reverend Joseph Osei Bonsu, who is the Bishop of Konongo Mampong. And the story says there is a post on social media with a picture of Pope Francis in which he is said to have formally given Roman Catholic priests the permission to bless same-sex couples. This has caused a lot of consternation among many people, some of whom have contacted me. This is Kanashigbe in the intro, personally for my view on the matter. One said, "Your Lordship, my family is confused about the blessing of same-sex marriage by the priest in the church. While the Pope is saying that same-sex couples can be blessed, he's not saying that same-sex unions can be blessed by Catholic priests." So that's the difference. So you can bless them because you're not a Catholic priest.
What kind of life is
Now, it is a malicious misrepresentation of the content of a new document released in Rome today. Now, this is the part I like.
Yes.
The Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith in the Vatican, dated 18 December, issued a declaration with the Pope's approval called Fiducia Supplicans.
Thank you.
On the pastoral meaning of blessings. This dicastery is the department in the Vatican which deals with doctrinal matters. The declaration begins by saying that this declaration remains firm on the traditional doctrine of the church about marriage, not allowing any type of liturgical rite or blessing similar to a liturgical rite that can create confusion. So basically they are saying the declaration deals with the possibility of couples in irregular situations and same-sex couples without officially validating their status or changing in any way the church's perennial teaching on marriage.
You go explain that, yeah? No, you go explain.
So they say the unions, technically they can be blessed, but not by Catholic priests. So it be like this D country, it's aimed at non-Catholic priests. So the main story is that the Pope is saying that same-sex couples can be blessed,
but not by Catholic
no,
priests.
so the Catholic priests they can't bless it. But maybe
So who should bless it?
Exactly.
maybe Caleb.
No, I will.
Yeah, so just tell us that Catholic priests should not bless. Let me move on.
I just want to just
No, it's called not dicastery.
What the dicasty?
No, dicastery.
Big people, Charlie. They big
But you know the
people.
apostolic nuncio. Good morning, Clement Akapam.
Hope we they beg you, you know.
Anyway, let's
Nobody
do
know
some.
what is.
That's a quick round of some stories from the economy.
Lord.
IMF has rescheduled board meeting to January 11, 2024. Now, the IMF has rescheduled the board meeting to consider Ghana's second review under the fund program and the disbursement of $600 million to January 11, 2024. Now, this is what they say Joy Business has picked up. Now, this is in the business analyst. So they sourced that story from Joy Business. Now, they say that the sources have described some significant progress that Ghana has made with its external bilateral creditors on the terms of restructuring the bilateral deal, especially with China. And the IMF board was expected to meet on Ghana's program for the second review in November. However, the challenge in reaching an agreement with China on the debt restructuring compelled the fund to reschedule the date on two occasions to first week December, which has passed, and December 21, and
All
that
right.
looks like it won't happen.
Final one from me, Bernard. Nana Amwakumpuku is Offenso chief elect.
Okay.
New Sampa chief swears allegiance to Otumfuo, story by Emmanuel Boni. So history was made at Mensha Palace in Kumasi yesterday when a justice of the Court of Appeal swore the oath of allegiance to Otumfuo Setitu II, the Asantehene, as the new Omanhene of Sampa traditional area. So Justice Emmanuel Ankama took the stool name Nana Sampa Jafla II as he swore to the Asantehene at the last session of Asanteman Council at Mensha yesterday. So Nana Jafla II was led to Mensha by a large contingent of Sampa kingmakers, including the Mansi Hene Nana Siajo Patazin II, Adonti Hene Nana Kwejo Magsa, the Tufu Hene Nana Wuli Kofi Chan II.
All right.
Okay, it goes on.
So
and on.
basically, that to put to rest the speculation around who was going to ascend to that particular throne.
Precisely.
So now this gentleman has been officially sort of outlawed.
Yeah.
So what's his name again?
His new name is Nana. His tool name is Nana Jafla II.
By his
By
private
his
name.
Justice Emmanuel Ankama. He's a justice of the Court of Appeal.
So that should bring to an end the quest for replacing the Offenso Hine. This was something that was in the news with other names popping up indeed. Thank you very much, Nathan. Thank you very much, Caleb.